Hi everybody, welcome to crochet lesson number 1. In today's lesson, I'm going to talk you through all the essential equipment you're going to need to get started in your crochet journey. And most importantly, I'm going to talk you through all the different hooks that are available to take hopefully any confusion that you may have about what all the different hooks are for, and give you some clarity on the type of hook you might like to choose and which hook you need for which project going forward. So let's begin. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the different types of crochet hooks that are available to us and the differences between them and some of the pros and cons. But before we do this, I just wanted to talk you through the different parts of a crochet hook because I think that's quite important to learn the tools that we're going to be using. So this part of the crochet hook here is called the hook lip, and this part here is called the hook tip. If I just turn it round slightly, here is the throat. I'm moving down to the shank. Moving down, you'll have a thumb rest, and then the end part is the handle. Okay, so that is the part of your crochet hook. So now let's move on and talk about the different types. So this one is obviously a wooden crochet hook, and the benefit of a wooden crochet hook, they're very light to use, and a great benefit of using wooden crochet hook is the stitches don't glide too much. So as a beginner, when you have your yarn on your hook, it's less likely to move around. So this can be a really great benefit to the hook, especially the wooden hook, is the fact that your yarn is not going to be moving up and down very easily. So you may just have a little bit more control over your work using the wooden one. A downside to using wooden crochet hooks, they can splinter, and it's obviously going to get caught on your yarn and can ruin your projects. A way around that, to avoid that, is to invest in a good quality wooden crochet hook if you're going to go down the wooden crochet hook route. Okay, so avoid cheap wooden crochet hooks and you will avoid the splintering and the possibility of ruining your yarns and your projects. Okay, so that's the wooden crochet hook. So moving on to this one, the aluminium crochet hook. I'm sure this is the one most people are familiar with seeing. These are readily available in most knitting shops, and you can get them on eBay and Amazon very easily and for a very good price. And these are also great for a beginner because, again, the price point very affordable, and you can also get these in packs with a whole range of different sizes. And the good thing with the aluminium is they are very strong, so these will last you a very long time. And the downside, potentially, it has a little bit more slip than the wooden crochet hooks, but still a very, very good option as a beginner because the price point, and they're very, very easy to use, and they move well through your work, I find, as well. So yeah, aluminium, very, very good option. The next one we come to is the plastic crochet hook. Oops, this one here. Now, a benefit to the plastic crochet hooks is the price point. They will be the cheapest crochet hook you can purchase. The downside is they're very weak. They can snap easily. And this may be a personal thing, but I find them very, very bulky and very difficult to maneuver. Okay, so for me, I think so far, I think the plastic is probably the least desirable crochet hook, even as a beginner, even though the price point is very good. I don't think it's the easiest hook to learn on personally, but again, that's just personal choice. If the plastic hook is what you have available and what you would like to start with, then by all means choose the plastic crochet hooks and see how you get on. So that's that one. The other type of crochet hooks you'll see are this type here, which is a comfort handle one. So this is good, especially if you're new to crochet and you know your wrists ache and because you're holding your hands in different positions and different movements, then a comfort handle can be a great option for you. These will be slightly more expensive than just your basic crochet hook. So a little bit more investment needed in something like this. But perhaps if you've done a little bit of crochet already and you know you like it, then maybe investing in the comfort handle ones might be the right option for yourself. So you have a few choices to think about there. Or maybe you could you play around. Maybe you could get an aluminium one and a plastic one and try them and see which is, you know, works best for you. So yeah, there are pros and cons to all of them. So I do suggest, if you're not getting along with one particular type, don't necessarily think that it's the fact you can't crochet or you just can't do it. Maybe just try a different hook, because the different materials do make a big difference, I find. So the other type of hook I just wanted to show you, because you may come across these in your shops too, is this, which does look like the traditional metal crochet hook that I just showed you. However, you can see the difference in length is quite significant, and it also has a size topper on the end, and that is because this one is actually a Tunisian crochet hook. So this is for a different type of crochet, so you can avoid buying this one. You don't need to purchase this one, you just need traditional crochet hooks. We will move on to Tunisian crochet further into our crochet course, but I just wanted to show you so that you didn't get muddled up when looking for your crochet hooks. Okay, so you don't need to purchase this one. This is for Tunisian crochet. And there is another type of Tunisian crochet hook I just want to show you, just so it doesn't cause you any confusion, because the length of this one is identical to the previous ones. However, this one has a cable on the end with a stopper. Okay, and again, this is for Tunisian crochet, so I just don't want for you to get confused when you see all the different types of crochet hook. So all you need to focus on at the moment is just finding which traditional type of crochet hook you would like to work with at the moment. Okay, so the other thing I want to cover, we're talking about crochet hooks, is the sizing. So as you can see, the sizes vary dramatically, and I have some here that are even smaller, just to show you. Okay, so you go very, very tiny to very, very chunky, and that is because of the different types of yarn available to us to use. So the thinner the yarn, the smaller the hook. The larger the yarn, like chunky yarns, we use a bigger crochet hook. And each crochet hook is sized. Okay, so if I just choose this one, for example, focus it in. So there we go, 4.5 millimeter. So that one has it there, and this one has a size on the end, I believe. There we go. So this one is a 12 millimeter. Some of the crochet hooks, like the wooden one, however, don't have the size marked on them. So in cases like that, I would advise keeping the packaging and storing your hook in the original packaging, and that way you're not going to forget what size crochet hook it is, because the packets will always have it on as well for you. So that's how you can identify the size of your crochet hook. Now, the question is, what size crochet hook do you start with? I am often asked that question, and I would advise you start with a 4 millimeter crochet hook, because that's a kind of middle size crochet hook, and a 4 millimeter is great for working with double knit yarns, and we're going to be using double knit a lot in the beginning of our crochet lessons. So a 4 millimeter is a really good starting point. However, if you buy a case with different sizes in, that is absolutely fine as well. You don't need to worry about gauge, because some people's tension will be slightly different. So some people use a 4.5, some people will go down, depending on how tight or loosely they crochet. But at this point, we're not worried about that. We're just going to worry about the actual basics of crochet and actually learning the stitches. So at this point, if you haven't got any crochet hooks and you need to purchase one and you're not sure what size, I would advise going for a 4 millimeter. Okay, so I think that's covered everything regarding the type of crochet hook and the sizing. Just one more thing about sizing is to be aware that there is a metric system and US sizes, so just be aware that sometimes you'll see crochet hooks under letters and instead of the numbers, instead of the millimeters, and that's just because you've got metric and US. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll put a conversion chart up just to show you. So if you're in the US and you want to convert it to a millimeter, then you can see what size you would need and vice versa. Okay, so that I think is the crochet hooks covered for now. I just want to move on to a few other little bits and pieces that you may want to invest in at this point, ready to go forward with the crochet. And that is a wide-eyed darning needle. Okay, and we'll be using this for sewing in our ends of our projects. So that's always useful to have. And of course, a pair of sharp scissors. And another useful thing I like to have to hand are these stitch markers. Okay, so you can buy these again on eBay or Amazon for a very reasonable price, and they are just little clips. They just clip it into our work, and this can be used to mark the beginning of a round, end of a round, or rows. So these are very, very handy, very, very cheap, very affordable, but very useful. So I would advise investing in some stitch markers at this point as well. So really, to get started, all you need is a crochet hook of your choice. If you haven't got any to hand and you need to buy one, I would suggest a 4mm, and your stitch markers, a pair of sharp scissors, and a darning needle, and then you will be good to go. So I hope that has clarified for you and demystified some of the mystery around all these different crochet hooks. And I know it's very confusing when you're first starting, knowing what to buy, what you need. There's so many things out there. It's very, very confusing. So I hope I've clarified for you that at this point, the essentials are one crochet hook, 4mm will do you absolutely fine for now, a darning needle, pair of sharp scissors, and stitch markers, and we'll be good to go for the beginning of our crochet course. So I do hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and do subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell because that will alert you when lesson 2 is ready. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I shall see you in lesson 2.